Okay, so I want to go ahead and talk about some of the updates I have made to Tufluent, at least this week. So, one of the big things is I've been working on overhauling completely the the reservation system, which in turn is as part of like the payment processing system. So I'll go ahead and log in to my account, and I'll go ahead and go to my dashboard. So right off the bat, we can see that at least the lessons here have changed. This is well, both the teacher and student would see the lessons here, and they'd be able to access the lessons they have coming up, and you kind of see the lessons they've done in the past. So, for instance, I have this lesson here; it's completed. If I actually go to it, I'll go to the lesson page. But since it's passed, I won't be able to go to the meeting. I'll just be blocked by this pop up here. So I can go back to my schedule here. This is mainly for the student. The teacher will have a different one. So we go down to teacher tools, and they'll have their schedule. So it looks pretty similar, just with a little bit more capabilities. I'm going to switch this to the monthly view. Here we have an add event button. So if we click on that, we can go ahead and add in an event type. So I've unified the system so that private and group lessons are in the same calendar event system. So you can go in, hit a private lesson or a group lesson. So I guess I'll go do a group lesson, and you select a language based off of the languages that you said you'll teach. So if I was teaching Spanish or a different language here, it would pop down. I would have that option as well. And I can go ahead and increment the number of participants. It's a group lesson. It has to be at least 2 for a group lesson. But a private lesson by default is always 2. And then I'll put the price at 0, and I can select what currency I want this to be at, and then set the duration. So it has to be 30 or greater. Or I think, yeah, 240 is the max right now. So 240 minutes, which is about 4 hours. And then I can set the time. So maybe I'll do tomorrow at 5 p.m. And the nice thing is that here, how they're stored in the database is that you can't have conflicting or overlapping time. So this will, when I add this event, it will go in and calculate the end time based off of how many minutes I have. Let's put this at 90 minutes, and so this would finish at 6:30. The database would figure that out, and it would check to see if there's any other events for me in the events table, and if there's any overlapping events, they won't allow me to create this event. So this is going to be my group lesson here. I can add a description if I want to. It's not mandatory. And then also, for group lessons, it's kind of good to have like an image, just like as a banner image. So I'll just add one here. So that's mandatory, at least for group lessons. For private lessons, you don't have to have a banner image. And so I'll hit submit, and then the event was added, and you can see now we have these little toasts that come up, and that will disappear after 8 seconds, or you can close it manually. And then I can see, okay, for the 7th I have a group lesson at 5, and it's 90 minutes, so at 5 to 6:30. I can see the participants right now. That's just me. I can open the meeting from here. I can change the status of the meeting. If in the case that like people were registered for the meeting, so people signed up for the meeting, and I canceled the meeting, all the participants, not the professor, but all the participants would be emailed about it, and so they would be updated. It's the same as if I go in and edit the if I change either the duration or change the date or time, all the participants would be emailed. Not the teacher, but all the participants would be emailed about the update, and they would be within that email. They'd be given an option to update their calendar, and so I'll show that a little bit. I can delete the event if I want to. You only can delete events if there's been no one who's purchased a lesson. So if someone has purchased a lesson, or registered for this event, you can't delete the event anymore. You can cancel it, but you can't delete it. So right now it's open. Everything's working great. So I can kind of see what I have on my schedule here. Obviously, if there were more, so the red dots are for group lessons, the blue dots are for private lessons. If there were more on the same day, you would see more come down here, and there'd be more dots on that date. So that's kind of how this calendar view works. And yeah, we can go back and forth between, okay, like the times and see, and it'll just load them in. I can toggle between a weekly view or a monthly view. So this is kind of how the scheduling system works. And there'll be way more things I'll be adding into this just to make it easier for a teacher to create their teaching schedule as far as like private and group classes. So I'll log out now, and I'm going to log into a different account this time. And so I'll go, and I can go to that teacher's profile here and hit reserve. I'll go down to their teaching schedule here, and I can see, oh, okay, we have that group lesson that teacher created. Likewise, I could also find it in the group lessons. So that's the group lesson I created, my group lesson. So I could see it here as well, and also like filter by like, okay, I want all the ones within 3 days or 7 days, whatever. But yeah, you can find it just going to the teacher's profile and looking at their schedule, and you'll be able to see what they have available. So okay, I have this group lesson here. It's $0. It starts at 5, and all the times are localized, so they're all stored correctly in the database. So if I was in a different country, like I would see their correct time for where I'm at. So I click on it and I go to that group lesson page, or the event page essentially. I can see the details, hosted by, and then here's this button for reserve. So I'll click on that, and it comes up. Since I don't have to put any payment information in because it's free, so I'll go ahead and complete order. And this also supports like anonymous users to be able to purchase an event, whether it's a private or group class, and then they'll be prompted afterwards to create an account. So that makes it easier for them. And then yeah, I got the lesson purchased. If I hit manage my lessons, I can go ahead and see, oh, I have a group lesson at this time. I guess this person here, this person signed in, is teaching a group lesson around the same time. So they have some conflicting interests. So maybe I wouldn't want to do this. But yeah, so now I have this group lesson that I've registered. And if I open the meeting, I can go to the meeting. Obviously, the meeting hasn't started yet, so there will be no one there. So I'll go back. As part of that confirmation, I should have received an email. Yep. So this is the email I got. I got the receipt, and then this is the email for the confirmation. And this was sent probably within about 30 or 40 seconds of me hitting the complete order button. I received this email. And so within this email, I have this add event to your calendar, this button here. So if I hit add, let me see, it'll load and it'll download an event ICS file. I click on that, and I can just add the event directly to my calendar. And now I can see, wow, this is on the 7th at 5 p.m. It ends at 6:30. Here's the link to the meeting. So if I clicked on that, I would go directly to the meeting. It looks like it has an alert to go off an hour before, so I'll be notified. And I can also see, okay, the organizer One of the things I kind of created in this at least is to have like host VCF files. I think that's what they're called, like virtual cards, like business cards. And so I can essentially get the contact information or create a contact in my operating system or my mobile device. This works a little bit better like on an iPhone, because when you download the event, on at least on Safari, it doesn't download the ICS file like it does on the Mac OS. It will just say, hey, like, do you want to add this to your calendar? And you can just hit add, and then it's in your calendar. And the nice thing about these are they have an identifier on them, a UID, as well as a sequence number to, so if anything changes, like an update. So if the teacher went in, and so I'll go back into the teacher's profile this time. If the teacher went in and went to their schedule, went to that lesson and said, I'm actually going to cancel. So you can see I have that participant now. I'm actually going to cancel that. If I rescheduled it, they would also get an update. Like I said, so I'll hit canceled. And the nice thing is we should receive an email through here. We have a queue system, so emails are added to a queue, and it takes about 30 seconds before like a cron job goes in and runs the query to send out the emails, just so we don't have any issues of emails failing. We want guaranteed delivery. So there it is. So yeah, within probably around 30-40 seconds it should pop up, and so like, okay, your lesson was canceled. And so I have this button to update calendar, so I click on that, and I get another file that downloads immediately, and I click on it, and look, my calendar event is updated. Now it's canceled, so I know that. So obviously the teacher could go back in there and modify the event again, and the user would get an email, and they could update their calendar event if they so wanted to. So I guess those are like the big features that I have added in. I've simplified at least the process of registering as a teacher, so that's a bit easier. And yeah, the meetings, or I guess the private and group classes all being in a unified system makes it a lot easier for scheduling. And so those are my updates.